Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now, here's the guy who's about to have a sit-down with Mr. Survivor and tell him not to do anything dangerous in the next month. Rob Cesternino, hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Rob Has a Podcast. You know, it's not every day that we get to talk to your Mr. Survivor, but that's exactly what we're going to do here today, because here he is, about to embark on a 20-day journey around the United States doing whatever the hell you tell him to. Here he is, Mr. Malcolm Freberg. Malcolm, how are you?
Good, good, good. I'm doing well today. Terrified for the future, but doing well otherwise.
All right. Well, Malcolm, very excited to have you back here on RHAP, and probably this is going to be the last time we talk to you before you go off on this crazy adventure, and I'm glad that we get to check in with you one more time. We did one of these actually with Parvati right before she left for Around the World for Free, so we feel like it's sort of customary to have a bon voyage before somebody attempts something like this.
Okay, well that's good. But you know, if we're on the road and I get bored in Podunkville, Kansas, we could always do one of these last minute. I've got nothing else going on at night.
Okay. All right. Well, and let me just tell you that it was not a great good luck charm for Parvati, because she actually got very hurt on Around the World for Free and like
Really?
broke her arm traveling around the world, Malcolm. And that's one of the reasons why I never leave the house.
I mean, safety first, Rob. You keep that like physique of yours in like such good form. We wouldn't want any damage to come to it.
That's right. That's right. And so, Malcolm, this is why I'm glad that I get to vicariously see the United States now here in the month of July through your eyes. So tell everybody a little bit about what this is that you're working on.
Yeah, so super briefly, we're doing a 20-day road trip of the United States. It's me and a small camera crew. The first big kind of twist is that every day of the trip is going to be an episode, and it comes out the very next day. So we leave on July 1st. Whatever we shoot on July 1st comes out on the 2nd. Whatever we shoot on July 2nd comes out on the 3rd for the entire trip. So poor old production team's going to be dead by the end of it. But the crazier thing is that everywhere we go and everything we do is left up to social media voting. We've partnered with company on the West Coast called Zoom to host all of our polls. You vote with hashtags. We'll give you options each day, and you get to send us wherever you want to send us, and then even little options throughout the day are up to your call. And whatever gets told for us to do is what I do, and it comes out the very next day.
All right, so it's sort of like a multiple choice from day to day. Should Malcolm go, you know, A, Washington, B, Portland, or C, Idaho?
Yeah, the original inspiration was, you remember Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yes,
You
yes.
get to the bottom of your page, there's just a few options with which, like, we can't leave it completely open-ended, but a few
So I can flip ahead to tomorrow and see if you die and then decide not to go that direction?
Yeah, I was that kid too who would flip back immediately after seeing it was a bad response. Unfortunately, I just have to go die if you send me to somewhere where that's going to happen.
Oh, no.
But the inspiration for the show was Choose Your Own Adventure books. You get a couple options each day, and you're really getting to dictate the action within the parameters of the options we give you.
Now, I'm interested in this sort of stuff. Now, is this an idea that you had, that you developed, or is this somebody else's idea that they tapped you and said you would be the perfect guy to host this?
So what happened was, really the plan was win $1 million on Survivor, buy a bar, and disappear in Mexico somewhere. That really was like how this all worked out in my mind when I first got cast. And I didn't win, obviously, for shame. But it kind of became popular, and I got approached to do a lot of travel show stuff. And right off the end, you know, CBS locks up your soul for a really long time afterwards, so I couldn't do anything right away. But also, everything people were asking me to do involved starving and being half naked in the wilderness and trying to survive. To kind of play on that thing. Eventually, what happened was a couple producers came to me with this idea. And it sounded really cool, and I was involved early on with the process, but it was an idea that a couple other people had, and we are doing it completely independently, so I'm involved in much more than just the hosting. But yeah, I can't take full credit for the idea, but it wasn't originally my idea either.
Now, it seems like from watching the videos on this, and of course the website is Wayfaring Live, right?
Right, wayfaringlive.com. Groupon owned Wayfaring. Jerk off.
Yes, and you can watch all of Malcolm's videos. It seems like this show heavily incorporates drinking into it. Is that just in the initial video, or are you going to be like going around the country and Are you partying in each city that you go to?
Not really. I mean, there's a couple things we get to. What happened was that initial video, that primary one, we did have me holding a bunch of whiskey because a lot of the content I've put out on the internet over the past year and a half has been revolved around whiskey. So it was kind of a natural extension. Now it's not going to be a booze fest, and it's certainly, we don't want to do trashy TV. We really want to make it kind of intelligent, make it more wit-based than, showing people drunk at parties. We actually feel pretty adamant about that. That being said, I think when we get to Kentucky somewhere around the middle of the trip, we might go to a distillery. But even that's sort of educational. It's educational in a fun way because I get to drink a bit. But no, we really don't want to make it like boozy or like a party scene. We want it to be kind of intelligent, like kind of show you the country. It should be smarter than trashy TV.
Okay, so is this an educational show? Is it sort of like, are you just out to see the country?
So the idea is if we're doing a 20-day, 20-episode thing, is that we're going to have a balance of everything. So there is some educational stuff along the way. We're doing charity at one point for tornado relief in Alabama. But then some of it's also really fun. The first day, I think one of the options might be whitewater rafting. That's just for fun. But along the way, like, you get to see stuff, you get to hear about things. We're doing out-of-the-way locations that people have never heard of. So we're looking for a balance between charity, learning, fun, exciting TV, and also making me miserable.
Is that part of it? That, like, what kind of things are people going to try to do to make you miserable?
Well, again, we're providing the options each day. So the producers are planning it. But it's funny, like, I've been getting the progress reports for what we might be doing each day. And lately there's blacked out events. Like, I don't get to see what they're planning anymore. So I don't know really too much of what they have in mind. I do know, however, that I walked in on a conversation about a nudist colony, which sounds awful.
Whoa.
Ugh. Yeah, there is some things that I'm legitimately going to hate, and I don't trust the internet to let me out of them at all.
Yeah, because, you do have the people that love you, and why wouldn't they? But there's also, like, these, like, vote for the worst type people that probably want to see whatever is the most disagreeable thing happen to you.
Yeah, I'm aware they're out there. Trust me, I'll be campaigning. When these polls go open, some of them are early morning, some of them are very split-second decision in the middle of the day, just whoever happens to be on Twitter when something's going on. But I'll be campaigning for my favorites. I'm going to be shameless about, no, I don't want to go do X miserable things. Let me go have a morning off.
So what's gonna, like, talk us through, like, a day in the life? Let's say it's July 3rd, okay? Now, what happens?
So July 3rd, again, we probably have woken up at some midpoint after the previous day's activities. We're staying in. We have a tour bus, which is awesome, but we're also going to be working out of crap motels. There'll be some sort of intro scene, some maybe a little bit thing, but kind of just waking up in the morning, getting ready for the day. Then these polls are going to go live, and you're going to get to vote on where we drive that day. So there's almost a lull in the action while we wait for the results to come in.
So you're going to wake up every day, and your poll is going to be up every morning.
Yeah, a poll will have been up since the previous episode went live around midnight the night before. So that poll's been open. We've already got to see some of it. It stays open.
So Malcolm wakes up in the morning, first thing, his poll is up every day.
Right. Then the poll will stay open till about 12:30 Eastern time because we have to set some time for us to get to where we're going. But we're probably on the road before that, heading to a waypoint, and we're shooting while we're on the road. Some fun stuff. If there's something we found along the way, like a highway stop that's silly, or we have to get for gas and one of the producers tells me, you have to go talk to the clerk now. We announced a 30-second poll, and a 30-minute poll, and they want you to go flirt with the clerk. I have to go do it. So there's stuff along the road as well, but the big decision each day is some activity that revolves around what an area is known for. So if it's day 3, I might be making this up, but I think day 3, the options are going to be either Amarillo, Texas for, like, cowboy adventures, or Roswell, New Mexico for alien adventures. So that's like our Cowboys and Aliens one, which we actually put up on the Kickstarter. I think that's July 3rd. So you would pick between these, and whatever was decided is where we'd go. And the producers would have some sort of activity that revolved around, if we were in Roswell, like the alien type stuff, or if we're in Texas already, we'd be doing something about cowboys, like maybe bull riding or cattle roping, something like that. Or something worse that I haven't imagined yet.
Yeah, well, I would definitely campaign for aliens,
I imagine the internet will go for aliens on that one. But again, it's totally up to you guys, and it's not just the big event. Like I said, like if we have to stop for gas, there might be a 30-minute poll on Twitter when we get there, and I'm going to write a bull. There might be a 30-minute poll because an intern found a thrift shop with a bunch of costumes, and they'll pick. You get to vote on the costume I'll wear when I ride the bull, and then you get to see it the very next day.
Okay, so do you know what the first place you're going, like on July 1st? Do you know what the agenda is yet?
For July 1st is up to the whims of the public, too. I know that it's going to be, I believe it's going to be either Grand Canyon or Phoenix, but Grand Canyon and Phoenix sound kind of boring. So I think I voted for, if we do the Grand Canyon, it would be a game of Cowboys and Indians. Well, we can't say Cowboys and Indians. We'd say like Cowboys and Wizards or something. But we do like a game of capture the flag on donkeys if we were in Phoenix, or if we were in Grand Canyon. But if we go to Phoenix, I hope, fingers crossed, that our producer got me into a demolition derby, so where I'd actually get to drive the car and like wreck into people. So
Now, who
that's
would
like a
you
big
do
question.
like capture the flag with?
So the idea is that the show's very self-aware. It's not just me all the time. Our crew is part of the show. The producers, we have 4 interns out of Dartmouth. We have like a 13-person crew. All of them in and of themselves are characters on the show. So while I'm kind of the face of it, like, and doing most of the work, everyone's going to be involved, and they'll have their own stories as we go along.
Wait, so who are these other characters?
I mean, we've got, 3 cameras, a bunch of producers, editors who are going to be dying, and a bunch of little kids who don't know how much I'm about to torture them yet because they signed on for this road trip.
So the actual kids or the interns?
Actual interns, sorry, we call them kids because they feel young to me now. And of course, we have the gorilla. If you've watched any of the promotional materials, is an integral.
Yeah, what's with this pink gorilla?
The pink gorilla is.
Is that a nod to Philip Shepard, who has a gorilla tattoo and wears pink underwear?
Rob, I'm about to hang up if you bring up Philip Shepard. No, the pink gorilla was. I mean, he's the one who brought us all together. It's actually, I mean, he's just the boss. He's the showrunner. Whatever, all major decisions go through him inevitably, and his story will develop over the course of the trip as well.
Now, are there any women in this entourage?
There are. We have a few girls. I don't know what they were thinking. Some of them are cute. There's a couple cute girls who are going to be on board if that entices anybody to watch. My hair wasn't doing it for you. But yeah, there's a couple cute girls involved. But for the most part, we're working. And yeah, as you'll see, everyone's kind of story will develop as we go. And we're just going to let it happen organically.
So when do we get to vote on what you do the first day?
The polls for the first day will open the morning of the first day, literally. So if we're going to start shooting on July 1st, we have to know where we're going to go at midnight on July 1st or 12:01 a.m. on July 1st. That poll becomes open and sits open for probably 12 hours. So whatever people vote on is right there is what's going to happen. So the voting starts July 1st. The episode won't be out till July 2nd, but the voting is on July 1st.
Is there anything you've told the producers that you will not do?
Well, I was very clear that no permanent physical scarring. What happens when we first were concepting this idea, everyone wanted to make like jackass comparisons. And again, we've really been against that because we want it to be more intelligent and more witty than just like slapstick drunk humor. So I was super against it. So no permanent physical marks like tattoos or branding or anything like that. I was also very strongly against haircuts. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
But so no physical scarring, but emotional scarring is fine. I'll get over it.
Okay. What would be something that would emotionally scar you?
Well, I mentioned that damn nudist colony. I can't imagine, like, there's going to be a lot of really attractive people I'll have to interview if we go do that. Again, I don't know all the bad options because they're keeping me secrets from me. I wish I could give more teasers out to you guys. But really, we don't know exactly yet what there's going to be bad. But for emotional scarring, right now, literally half an hour ago, we opened our first practice poll for the public. It's on wayfaringlive.com right now. We opened a poll for tonight to be a little bit of a teaser. I'm going to go sing on a street corner as soon as I get off this call with Rob.
Okay, so let me look at this right now.
Go to wayfaringlive.com.
Wayfaringlive.com.
And if you scroll down on that homepage, I believe it's sitting there.
Okay, so the question is, I see, where should we drive tomorrow?
Oh, no, not that one. He screwed with the site.
Okay.
Go to wayfaringlive.com/polls. Try that.
Wayfaringlive.com/poll, so we can
polls plural.
see
should be both.
polls plural. All right, then we'll see what see Malcolm's poll, and It's not. It might be too much traffic right now.
It's
We might
not
be
working.
blowing it up.
Well, it's on Twitter, but I don't know why it's not working for
What's
me.
the Twitter?
The Twitter is Wayfaring at Wayfaring Live. Um, this is such a long process. Our first poll is failing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not because we're getting a ton of responses. I'm watching it as we're doing this, and it's starting to become clear.
Okay.
Anyways,
So
the poll is what song does Malcolm have or what does Malcolm have to sing on an LA street corner tonight? And you vote using hashtags. Now they all start with WF for Wayfaring because they have to be individualized, but it's WF Vanilla Ice, WF Shakira, WF Disney, or WF Rebecca Black. And whatever the
oh,
poll, yeah. So whatever the poll comes out to, as soon as we're done with this phone call, I'm going to go out and sing on the street.
and
So
then
as
what
a taste
happens?
of embarrassing.
Then that video gets uploaded to YouTube.
And that video will be on our site and YouTube. Once we're actually going, you'll have to be looking at our site for most of this stuff. But for tomorrow, it'll be on social media, YouTube, and our site, like that video. Yeah, the very next day.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the name Wayfaring? I had an idea for a show. It was called Wellfaring, where I was just gonna beg people, beg the government for money to go from place to place. But tell me about Wayfaring.
What happened was we had the idea in place, and we knew we were going to be doing it on a budget. So we started looking at like, well, travel poorly and things like that. Really, we just sat on thesaurus.com with a bottle of wine for a long time, and this was the best word we found that like is sort of related to traveling. Now, wayfaring actually means to travel on foot, and thank heavens I don't have to do that. The buses run out of gas. Maybe we have the interns pushing, but otherwise, it's just a cool word that kind of meant traveling, and now we're twisting it to our own purposes.
And so that you guys are all going to be on one bus going around, and you're not going to be hitchhiking at all, right?
No, there's no hitchhiking. We have one bus and one second vehicle to go around the country in 20 days. That's about it. One of the biggest concerns is if something goes wrong with that bus or that van, and then we'll just have to play it, play it as we see fit, do it live, and try to figure it out.
Yeah. Is it a nice bus, or is it like one of these like Breaking Bad meth Winnebagos?
Well, it was nice when we got it, but since I've learned how to cook the blue candy, it's gone a little bit. It's gone a little south since then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. And we're gonna take some questions here with Malcolm. You can send them. You can send them in either in the chat room here, and we want to get you ready for live taking questions from people.
Oh yeah, perfect. I'll be ready.
Okay. Also, you can post your questions on the YouTube video at robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. Joshua Spalding has a question for you, Malcolm. He wants to know, the Mr. Survivor belt will be making appearances, correct? I've heard that to be true.
So, little bit of an admission. I knew when I was awarded the illustrious title of Mr. Survivor that I was going to be doing Wayfaring this summer. So the lack of pictures that the voters have been seeing on Instagram is directly related to my knowing that I was going to get to take pictures with it all over the country for them. So don't worry, there will be plenty of nonsense. Probably have to work out a deal with Rob here to send them to him first for clearance because the belt is about to become very well traveled and highly photographed.
Malcolm, for the next 8 months or whatever, that belt is yours to do with whatever you want. You're only increasing the value one day when it goes on eBay. That this was the belt Malcolm took around the country.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be everywhere with us on this trip. Yes.
Okay. Mike Bloom wants to know, at the end of the trip, can Malcolm come up with a unique drink for every place he visited? Perhaps something to pair nicely with an RHAP cocktail?
Well, this guy, how do you pair one cocktail with another cocktail? Like that's very aggressive, sir. I think you need to get some help. We're there as much as we just talked about the drinking. We don't want this to become a drunk, trashy reality TV show. We want it to be intelligent and witty and things of that nature. There will be plenty of drinking, and I'm sure I'll get to bestow some helpful hints for your drinking endeavors along the way.
Yeah. Can't you drink and then you don't get sloppy drunk though, right, Malcolm?
No, I don't at all. But again, when people ask, like, are you going to drink a bunch? And it's like, no, we're not going to. We don't want to be that show. We don't want to be Jersey Shore just on the road. We want to. I always try to stress that we're trying to do this intelligently and witty more so than trashy.
Now, can people come out and see you in the different places that you're going to be, or are you trying to advise people to stay away so you can concentrate on what you're doing?
I mean, if you track us down, good for you. You'll know like what city we're in or what town, and some of this stuff might be more specific. And you can come say hi if you can. Hell, come do it. Now there are rewards because we're currently on Kickstarter where we will come see you no matter what, or we'll rendezvous with you and we'll set that up. But if we run into you and you want to come say hi, get involved. We'd love to have you.
What are the things that you guys are incentivizing people with on Kickstarter?
Yeah, so the early rewards are really cool. So on our website, you might see that there's, an exclusive access page. Well, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, extended cuts, deleted footage is going to be under there. So you're going to get to see everything if you buy it. I think it's $15 for that exclusive content. You go a little higher than that. There's private polls every day as well. So I already said there's going to be multiple polls each day. If you buy in at this level, you get access to a private poll, so you get even more control over what's going on. Higher than that, live Q&As every 3 days. We're going to be doing something like this every 3 days from the road. Then you can come out and meet us. We'll come to your town. There's all sorts of really cool stuff at the higher levels.
All right, Riot Maker wants to know, would Malcolm wear a necklace of hot dogs at a nudist colony? Would you consider doing that?
I really hope none of our producers are listening right now. That sounds awful.
I don't really understand the appeal of that. I feel like the necklace of hot dogs would be like a grass skirt made of hot dogs might be.
That would be worse. Yeah, necklace of hot dogs probably draws the eye up a little bit.
That would almost look like the immunity necklace.
Oh, an immunity necklace of hot dogs wouldn't last the first tribal council because whoever had it would be eating them at the time.
Should that be a reward on the upcoming season of Survivor? Okay, want to know what you're playing for? You'll get a immunity necklace of hot dogs.
It's an edible immunity necklace. You can choose to be protected at tribal council tonight, or you can eat your necklace.
Megan Z wants to know, so this isn't going to be like the Rock of Love tour bus?
I'm the worst. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I don't know what the Rock of Love tour bus is, but there is not going to be any love because we're actually all going to be working so hard to do an episode every day. There's not a lot of time.
Hey, Bret Michaels works hard too, Malcolm.
I didn't mean to insinuate that Bret Michaels didn't work hard. Bret, I know you're a big fan of RHAP. Please don't be upset with me.
Former Celebrity Apprentice winner. Okay, this is from Michael in the chat. Wants to know, can one of the polls be for Malcolm to put the Mr. Survivor belt on the most attractive woman he can find?
Oh, that's not terrible. We could set that up. The question now becomes, at what stop would I do that? Now, what town would you want me to go find the most attractive girl to wear the belt?
Whoa, I don't know. That's
there you go.
It's your show. You figure that out.
Don't put this on. I got enough on my mind.
Taylor Cotter wants to know, in exchange for Kickstarter donations, will there be a promise for one RHAP joke per episode? If you're trying to get Taylor Cotter's money.
Well, it depends on how much Taylor's willing to donate, but if it's a good chunk of money, I will work in a subtle RHAP comment all the time. I can do that. Yeah. We'll whore ourselves out.
Why not? Catherine Breezale wants to know, has Malcolm and Spencer bonded since they have a really similar Survivor arc? Do they call each other for when they have a Final Four Immunity Challenge flashback for support? Have you bonded with Spencer since the end of the season?
Well, we don't have to call each other because we formed a telepathic bond very quickly.
Whoa.
Usually we just wake up in the morning and we kind of weep together for half an hour to 45 minutes before we can get on with our days. It's a mutual bonding process, but it's beneficial to both our lives.
Okay. This is from Hannah Barnes, who wants to know, after all of the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter references you made on Survivor, what's up with being named Malcolm and being in an alliance with a guy named Reynolds and not making a Firefly reference? Do you have anything you want to say about that?
See, Firefly was gone too soon. I will give you that. I have watched it. I am a fan. Very tragic. Not making. I'm aware of what Malcolm Reynolds is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have picked up on that. I apologize to you and the Firefly fan base.
Bob Fallon says, I know Malcolm is a Game of Thrones fan. Can he give us some quick non-spoilery thoughts on the season?
I thought they did it great. I mean, again, I've read all the books. I'm a nerd for it. Oh, yeah, I'm super nerd for it. I thought they presented this season great. Every big moment that like major fans were waiting for delivered in spades. I thought they did a great job with it.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't know how much to say.
Okay. Let's see. Jake M. Larson wants to know, are you planning to visit Miss Survivor Andrea Belke's Wisconsin farm? Is that one of the stops on your tour?
I don't think we can actually get that far north. I'm giving you a very technical answer for a fun question, but because we're like constrained by how far we can drive each day, we're actually like we're going to cut up through Tennessee and Kentucky, but we're not actually reaching the East Coast, I don't think. And I also don't think we're swinging through the northern states because of the constraints from time and our 20-day schedule and to be able to produce an episode each day. So unfortunately, I will be missing the Belke farm. Although there might be a farm or two along the way that will hopefully make up for it.
Okay. Replay BB718 wants to know, is Malcolm going to write blogs about the trip when it's over?
No, actually, and this is a fun thing I haven't commented on yet. Anyways, we're going to be keeping blogs on the Wayfaring Live website the entire trip because there's simply too much for us to be able to show in like our short form episodes over the course of the day. I'll be writing, but so will some of the other people on the trip, some of the producers, interns, camera guys. Everyone's stories from behind the scenes will be blogged as we go on the Wayfaring Live site.
Will there be any tension between you? Like, what if one of the people in the Wayfaring entourage is pissed off at you? Is he going to be allowed to blog about, Malcolm really got a big head now. He thinks he's so great because now he's been to all these different states and he went to the nudist colony. And now he's being a total jerk. Like, will people be allowed to post that, or will they be filtered?
Oh, he's very welcome to write whatever he'd like to write, so long as he's okay hitchhiking back to L.A.
Get off my bus.
Yeah, leave.
Okay, this is a question from Alex Wilpon. How long will each episode be?
We're currently aiming at 10 to 12 minutes an episode. Obviously, there's just not enough content in a day, but per editorial constraints for our production schedule, we can't do full length. The idea is that whatever we shoot on July 1st, we'll have done and uploaded around midnight, 1 a.m. That night. And so it's sitting there waiting for you in the morning. We want Wayfaring to be what you watch, like over your morning cup of coffee or in your cubicle waiting for you, like to get your day started. It's a short form episode every morning for 20 days. And you can watch it whenever, obviously, but the idea is to watch it in the morning.
What does success for Wayfaring look like? Is it that you guys do another one? Is it that you guys get picked up for as a TV project? Or is it that you guys leave the country in a season 2?
We have already developed options for the next couple seasons, actually. We can't go into them too much because we have to keep a couple surprises. But the idea would be to be able to continue doing this would be really a win for us. And a lot of that's just going to depend on how we execute this trip. So really the focus right now is making sure that episodes look good. We have a good story arc. Like we're able to keep everything together and really produce something that's never been done before. And we believe that if we do that, then we're going to be all set to keep doing this in the future.
Can you confirm or deny season 2 of Wayfaring will be in space?
We're hoping for season 43 to be in space. I had the technology to do this in space. We'd already be doing it in space, I promise you that. But unfortunately, no. I have to deny that rumor. But I promise you that season 2 is a fantastic idea that all of you will go nuts for. Just I can't announce it yet.
All right, we have a ding, marry, kill for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, ding, marry, kill. Wayfaring, around the world for free, or around the world in 80 ways. Ding, marry, kill.
Wait, hold on. Was 80 ways the one that Rob did or something?
Yes.
Is that what I remember that from?
Yes.
Oh, well, you marry Wayfaring because we get the best heart of them all. We're the ones that won't cheat on you or ever steal your stuff.
Okay.
I think you have to ding.
This is tough.
I think you have to ding around the world in 80 ways just because it's Rob and I like ex-survivors whose name is Rob. And then I guess you have to kill around the world for free.
Oh my God.
Well, is that no good? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see what the backlash from that one is. Put me on the spot.
Jesse wants to know, would you consider returning to Survivor for a Blood versus Water season with the Pink Gorilla?
I think if I went back with the Pink Gorilla, he would be the first person voted off for being such a threat. It wouldn't be fair to the other competitors to have him out there because he's such a type A, hyper competitive. We have a producer on the show laughing at me over here. He's such a rock star in every aspect of life that no one would let him stick around and he would immediately be gone. That being said, as we've seen, Blood vs. Water tends to go better for you as a contestant if your loved one's not involved, and the Pink Gorilla most certainly is a loved one. So I might be very successful if I was out there for the Pink Gorilla.
You know, we didn't get to talk to you since the end of the Survivor season. What was your take on Tony being the winner this season?
I was happy with it. I always like the hyper-aggressive people, as you may have guessed. I was obviously cheering for Spencer like the rest of the world, like everyone knows. The storyline was so parallel to my own that it's kind of hard not to cheer for a guy who went through almost exactly what you went through.
Well, that doesn't always happen. Russell was rooting against Tony by the end, and that was somebody who had a somewhat similar storyline.
Oh, I guess that's true. But with Spencer, I was like, oh, I feel bad for this kid, especially because you're so bad at getting the vote correct. So I was supporting Spencer, but I was very happy that Tony won. I thought he played aggressively and he played well. I don't think it was perfect, but he played the game, and I'll always support someone who plays the game. There you go.
Have you ever had Wu come into the bar in Hermosa?
I've never met Wu. We exchanged, or no, we really didn't. I was just about to make a really bad joke. I've never met Wu. I would like to. He looks like a lot of fun, and we could, share hair care secrets. But no, I've never met him.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought he was from that area. Maybe that he's a surfer guy.
I mean, yeah, you give off that vibe. It's like people think I've never surfed a day in my life, so I don't really know. But you give off that vibe. People assume you live within a stone's throw of the sand, and you tend to get lumped in together. Thanks for profiling, Rob. We appreciate it.
I profiled. Sorry about that. So this song that you're going to sing tonight, do you know the words to all of the songs, or are you going to have to do some research?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to. It depends on what it is. Like for that Rebecca Black song, I'm pretty sure I just go Friday, 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 or however that one goes. For the other ones, I might have to have a lyric sheet, which might affect my subsequent tip-getting ability from passerbys. Okay. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I am officially coming out and endorsing Rebecca Black for. So what is the hashtag for that? WF Friday or WF Rebecca Black?
Hashtag WF. It's always going to start with the WF and then Rebecca Black, and that's how you vote for that.
Wait, now are you going to sing Friday, or are you singing one of her other hits?
She has other hits?
No.
I wasn't even aware of that.
No. She made the song Saturday also, but it was sort of like it wasn't crappy enough to be funny, and it wasn't good enough to be good.
It wasn't magical. It lacked that punch the original had. That's no good.
Yeah. It was like she tried to be. It was like that she didn't realize that her first song was good because it was bad, and she tried to make a good song, and it wasn't good enough to be good. So that's that middle that you really want. You want to be an outlier on one side or the other, and she really was just
fantastic or atrocious. And
yeah,
she got lost in the middle ground on Saturday. I understand what you're saying.
It's the American Idol thing. You either want to be William Hung or you want to be, Carrie Underwood, but you don't really want to be, the 99% in the middle. That's right.
Perfect sense.
Okay, let me just see if we have any other questions. Spicy Wasabi wants to know, this is interesting, are competitive eating contests on the docket? Would you consider doing that on Wayfaring?
I actually believe we are. Again, I don't have all the plans, but I do know that sometimes along the way they want to make reference and almost sort of parody other travel shows that you see on TV. So like that Man Against Food thing. They might have me do something comparatively like that with some crazy restaurant's popular option. So I do believe there are going to be a couple of those along the way. Hopefully nothing Survivor-esque with the grubs and nastiness, but something like that.
Yeah, would you eat gross stuff like what are they called? Like Rocky Mountain oysters, something like that?
Oh God! Again, quit giving the people who are coming up with the options ideas. This is getting counterproductive. But yeah, I mean, if the vote comes up, this whole thing would be undermined if I didn't do whatever I was made to do. So, yeah, frankly, like if that's the vote and that's what comes out, that's what happens.
Okay. All right. So Rob Has a Planet is going to be very involved on this. That we're very eagerly awaiting when this all kicks off. So, okay. So July 1st, Malcolm is going to depart. We're going to go to wayfaringlive.com. We're going to we're going to see that every morning Malcolm has his poll up, and then people are going to go and check it out, and then every day and every.
Said I have to stop you. That every morning.
No, we got to keep going, Malcolm. We got to keep going. We have a little bit of time left in the show, and so then we're gonna see where you go. And do we know the first option yet? Can we have time to mull this over?
I think the first option's what I led you to. It's either going to be the Grand Canyon or Phoenix. I don't know exactly what we're going to do when we get there, but I do know it's going to be those two Arizona choices.
Okay. I don't want you in that Grand Canyon. I'm going to be nervous, just like I was with Parvati, and my reason for concern was well founded. She got hurt, had to get surgery in Africa, and she got like a big surgery on her arm. And so stay out of that Grand Canyon. Just do wacky stuff, but nothing dangerous.
If I get injured, I'll just from my deathbed be whispering under my breath, I should have listened to Rob.
Yeah, I'll text you. I told you so. All right.
Supportive.
All right, so check out Malcolm. Will you be tweeting from @MalcolmWHW during the summer, or are you going to be on Wayfaring?
No, I'm going to have my own account @MalcolmWHW. I'll be campaigning for what I want you to pick, but also you need to follow @Wayfaring Live. That's going to give you all the updates on the show. That'll announce each poll throughout the day. That's going to keep you up to date the best on what's going on.
Paul Borges wants to know, what does the WHW in his Twitter handle stand for? And would you consider changing it to some variation of Mr. Survivor Malk, first ever Mr. Survivor Malk TMNT, or Malk Want, that's for Whiskey and Ninja Turtles? Would you consider any of those Twitter handles?
I mean, maybe not one of those. WHW is a closely guarded secret that I'll be taking to my grave as Rob texts me mockingly because I died in Wayfaring.
Will you text me back what the WHW means?
Yeah, if I die on this trip, Rob will get exclusive access to what WHW stands for on my Twitter handle.
Okay.
But no, I would not change it.
All right, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Malcolm is going to do crazy stuff for 20 days. Malcolm might get upset at the internet and may not want to do a second Wayfaring.
It's very true. If you guys are too mean to me, we won't get to continue on in the future.
All right, and then tomorrow, if we go to Wayfaring, we'll be able to see what song you sang?
Yeah, so literally we're going to go in about 15 minutes. That poll's going to close. We're going to go do it, and then that video will be up for you tomorrow. And that's kind of the intro to this show. Like, that's how it's going to be all July. This is the first kind of teaser poll decision for you guys. So Get voting if you want to.
All right, and I will post that on the page as well. We'll see. It's a cliffhanger. We'll see how it all worked out. So vote in Malcolm's poll. Don't forget to vote. Malcolm, my own poll is up and has been for a while now, because we are setting up the top 20 survivors of all time poll on robhasawebsite.com. If you haven't voted in that, you can go to robhasawebsite.com/survivor-top20, and we're going to reveal that on Tuesday night on a live show on Rob Has a Podcast. All right, so check out wayfaringlive.com. Much more to come, Malcolm. We'll definitely be following you all summer long. Good luck, buddy.
I appreciate it. You will see the belt.
All right, take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.